Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the famous Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. It's here for an unboxing, finally the flagship that Samsung has presented on February 20. It reaches the stores on March 8 and we have it in the dual SIM Exynos version. Okay, so here we go, the powerful flagship of the year 2019 from Samsung. It's here, it's got a cutout for the dual selfie cameras and we have the Prism green version. 128 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigabytes of RAM and dual SIM card slots. Now the price tag of such a device would be around $950 or $1,000, and let's see what it's all about. It's going to be a pretty lengthy unboxing. It also includes first impressions and even maybe a test of the fingerprint scanner, which is now embedded in the screen. Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, it's part of a series. It includes the Galaxy S10e, S10, S10 Plus and also the 5G version. Okay, we put aside this part, we go to the inside of the box. The charger has been looking the same for years now. We were promised reasonably fast charging, and also the device supports wireless charging and it even charges other phones, like the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, I might add. Also inside the box we find this little adapter from USB Type-C to full USB. It's useful to transfer your content from your older phone. And here we have a small extra little box which should hold, let's see what it holds, the cable. It's got the USB Type-C cable inside and hopefully we can remove it sans damage. Okay, so this thing that just flew out is another adapter from USB Type-C to micro USB. And this is the cable I was mentioning before. It's USB Type-C to full USB. You're going to be hooking it up to the PC and also to the charger. Okay, nothing else here. And finally, we have reached the headphones. As you can see, according to the engraving, they're tuned by AKG, and let's see what they're all about. So Samsung is one of the companies that's keeping the audio jack, no problems with that. And from what I can see, they haven't changed the design very much. They also have some extra plugs here, if you can see them. From what I can see, there are about 4 extra plugs for various ear sizes. I see that the cable is pretty thick and braided. I'm actually feeling sorry for it, so I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to open it up afterwards, feeling sorry for it because it looks so nice and crisp. Made in Vietnam, by the way. Okay, putting it here, and there's also another aspect, another box inside the box. Here we go. Here we should find a key, metal key used to access the slots, which by the way, there's only 2 of them here. 2 slots, one for the SIM and one for the micro SD, or one for SIM and one for the other SIM if you're using the dual SIM setup. That was the manual you just saw, and this concludes our full list of accessories. Okay, so far so good. This has been the unboxing. Now let's check out the phone. First impression, not very heavy for such a big diagonal, 6.4 inches. It's got a power button here. It's a bit too placed at the top for me. A perfect position would be here, I would say, not here. It's way too up for me, so it should be placed lower. It's placed too high to be comfy. We also have a Bixby button, we also have the volume buttons, and starting with this generation, you can actually remap the Bixby button for other tasks. And Bixby continues to sound, well, funny and ridiculous. Now the phone itself is made of glass and metal. Glass at the front, gently curved on the sides, glass at the back, beautiful I might add. The camera is orientated horizontally and a metal frame between made of aluminum. So I guess it's time to start the setup process. I'm going to go with English this time. For those of you frustrated that they didn't get to see the body of the headphones, rest assured I'm going to show them in the photos or the full video of the review. As you know, we do crazy long reviews. Sometimes they're even 1 hour long. That's just crazy. Okay, the setup has started and you can already see that the front camera is dual. It's been cut right into the glass panel, which is a new trend. And it's going to be happening a lot this year and the next year. Samsung started it. Well, they're actually disputing Huawei, who started it. Huawei has it on the Huawei Honor View 20, also the Nova 4. So they're arguing who started the trend with cutouts in the screen. Skipping for now. Skip. And I think we're all done. Now the interface you're about to see is One UI on top of Android Pie. I know it's got huge icons, it's rather childish, and it's supposed to focus on improving one-hand usage. So everything is placed in the bottom third of the phone, so everything becomes accessible much easily. Okay, so these are the apps. Once again, the icons seem huge, and I think it's time for a quick recap of the specs. So the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus measures 7.8 millimeters in thickness. It weighs 175 grams and it's got a 6.4-inch Dynamic AMOLED screen with a resolution of 3040 pixels over 1440 pixels. It's got HDR10 Plus support, and it also should bring Gorilla Glass 6 protection, and the fingerprint scanner is now embedded in the screen. We also have an Exynos 9820 CPU inside, which is an 8nm CPU, or the Snapdragon 855 if you live in China or USA. That one is a 7nm CPU. There is also 8GB of RAM, but there's also 12GB of RAM on another version. And speaking of versions, the phone also has a version that comes with a ceramic back instead of glass. Stereo speakers, so the top one and the bottom one working together. Also, there's 4100 mAh battery, which should solve all of your needs for quite a few hours of functioning. Wireless charging other devices, and also something called Wi-Fi 6. Wi-Fi 6 will allow you to trigger faster connections. From what I've heard, it's a 20% speed boost compared to the previous Wi-Fi standards. USB Type-C port at the bottom, audio jack here, and we're off to the cameras. Triple combo at the back side. LED flash next to it, also the special pulse sensor, and also the oxygen meter here next to the flash. Now the camera itself is a combo of 3 sensors. So there's a 12 megapixel shooter with variable aperture, dual pixel phase detection autofocus, and optical image stabilization, next to a 12 megapixel telephoto shooter with optical image stabilization again and 2x optical zoom, and a third camera 16 megapixels with ultra wide lens. At the front, dual combo, 10 megapixels and 8 megapixels. The main one has f1.9 aperture, the second one is used for depth capture, and it can do 4K video with the front camera. Not bad. Now the camera itself does steady video capture. It has 4 bokeh effects, super slow motion, and once again this is One UI running on top of Android Pie, and there's an option to trigger a special dark mode. It's called night mode, and you can save some juice and protect your eyes when the night comes. Other than that, well, I think it's time to check out the camera interface. So you can go here and you can alternate between cameras. So this is actually the 2x optical zoom telephoto camera. This is the regular camera, and this is the ultra wide camera that's giving you an extra perspective, and it's wonderful for landscape shots when you're traveling. We got the optimization here, scene optimizer, we got the super slow-mo, 960 frames per second, and we also have the super steady thingy here, which stabilizes your videos much better. I'm going to get much more in-depth with the camera as time passes. We also have, as I said before, a brand new trace of live focus, basically bokeh, but with 4 effects. So you have to stand here and you can apply this effect, this one, or this one. One is a vignette, one is black and white background, and one is a sort of spiral behind you. And now, as my final trick, as a special magician would say, I'm going to test out the fingerprint scanner, which is embedded in the screen. Keep in mind, embedded in the screen. Okay, so there's also face recognition. Add your fingerprints, continue, secure it with a pin. Okay. Place your finger on the sensor, then lift off. I wasn't very happy with the implementation of the sensor on the Huawei Mate 20 Pro or the OnePlus 6T, so an improvement will be welcome. Okay, get a full scan. It wants to capture the edges now, so it's done. Okay, and let's see how efficient it is. So I'm going to try this. You actually have to keep it pressed for a longer while, as you can see. Let's see just how much. So a quick tap doesn't cut it. And it said a message on the screen, you have to keep your finger on a little longer. So here we go. Still not very happy with it. Nowadays we have other fingerprint scanners that unlock instantly. Anyways, I think you're going to have to get used to it, because there's no other way to do it. So far so good. This has been the unboxing and first contact and first impressions of the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. They've cut the bezels a lot, the bottom, on the top. They made the screen even more immersive. The Dynamic AMOLED looks spectacular. It's very bright from what I can see, and I have to admit, I've played with the camera over the past days and the zoom is simply crazy, and also the stabilization has become very good, but I find myself a bit annoyed by the fingerprint scanner. I'll see if it continues in the full review. This is from gsnhome.com, just unboxed and played with the Galaxy S10 Plus. Bye bye.